The next set of concepts that I want to introduce you to in this session have to do with managing your focus. And I call these concepts clean focus, clean cuts, and change channels. Clean focus, clean cuts, and change channels. And the idea here is that it's so easy in modern society, in modern culture, in modern life, to just process too many things and have your mind run off, right, with one of these inner butterflies that we talked about earlier. And it's too easy to get distracted while we're working on one thing and just start doing another thing and not realize that we're doing it. So these three concepts are going to help us conceptualize and understand, give us some models for how to manage our focus and our attention, and how to be more proactive with ourselves and with our focus to get the maximum done and to get the maximum enjoyment out of it as well. We want to get a lot of results, and we want to feel really good about getting those results. So the idea of clean focus is very important. And clean focus is about being focused on one thing at a time, all right? Having a cleanliness to our focus, having it be pure in a sense. And we do this by using 50-minute chunks of time, 50-minute blocks of time, and we set out our little digital timer and we go, okay, 50 minutes, I'm just going to focus on this one thing. And what we do is, when we're using clean focus, is we always are asking ourselves as we're moving forward, is my focus clean? Am I focused on this one thing? Am I really staying focused? And almost like a meditator, when we lose our clean focus, we just bring ourselves back to clean focus. We don't get upset about it. We don't judge it. We don't feel a lot of anxiety or get mad at ourselves. We especially don't want to talk nasty to ourselves in our heads. We don't want to use any negative self-talk. We just want to gently bring ourselves back. I just mentioned meditators to you. What meditation is about is quieting the mind, is settling down the mind, so that you have actually better focusing ability and better ability to be in the present moment. And one of the exercises that is commonly taught in meditation for beginning meditators is focusing on the breath and just noticing your breathing. And you just close your eyes and you can just follow your breathing. Don't try to control it, don't try to judge it. And what you'll find is your mind just wanders off. It runs off and does different things. And when you see it, when you're learning meditation, when you see it do that, when you notice it, you go, oh, okay, and you just bring it back to your breathing. And it keeps running away, and you keep bringing it back, and it keeps running away, and you keep bringing it back. And the key here is to do it gently, without judgment, without getting mad at yourself, without getting upset in any way. That's really the trick to doing it. So when you're using clean focus, the idea here is to continually bring yourself back to clean focus, because focus is a muscle. It's something that we build. You may only be able to focus on something for 5 minutes at a time before you find yourself over checking your email or compulsively looking at your text messages, or even realizing, oh, my phone keeps ringing. I've got to turn it off and have the experience, having the concrete experiential aha realization of, oh, that thing keeps coming up. And then you go, okay, come back to clean focus. And you gently, compassionately bring yourself back to focus. Okay, so the first of these three new ideas is clean focus. Focusing our attention, our energy on one thing, and when we lose our clean focus, noticing it and gently bringing it back. The second idea that we're going to talk about here is clean cuts. Clean cuts. And what we're trying to do with clean cuts is focus on one thing for a period of time, and then when we stop focusing on that thing, cut clean. So we're not bringing it with us. You heard me talking earlier about being at work and feeling like you should be at home with your family or hanging out with your friends or on vacation, or being on vacation and worrying about your work or trying to go to sleep at night and not being able to stop thinking about all the stuff you've got to do tomorrow, that kind of stuff. That is a result of not having clean cuts. In one of the earlier exercises that we did at the beginning of this program, in one of the fast starts, we talked about the things that rob you of energy, and you made a big list of these things. Oftentimes in life, when we have these open loops that are more, let's just say, expansive and integrated into our life, these open loops and these things that are sucking the energy out of us, they're affecting everything. They're actually in every part of our life. And I mean, something as simple as you have a bad relationship with one of your family members and there's tension there, and maybe you haven't talked to them in 6 months because you had a fight and it wasn't cut off cleanly, it wasn't wrapped up in some way and resolved positively or negatively, that there's this drain that's going on all the time. So you could never really cut away from that thing and on to the next. It's always operating in your subconscious mind. So everything from just working on something for a few minutes and then having a clean cut and moving to something else, to the bigger things in our lives, the wounds we have from when we were younger, the key relationships we have with family members, relationships we have with friends, work, that kind of thing. So in this case, I'm kind of blowing this up a little bit so you can see how important this idea is. But in this case, we're just going to focus theoretically on our focus chunks of time and on our rest chunks of time here. So using the 60-60-30 solution, we got these 60-minute chunks where we're trying to stay focused, and then we've got this 30-minute chunk where we're trying to have a small meal and have a break. As soon as we're finished with one of our 60-minute chunks, and really what we want to do is work for 50 minutes and then take a little 10-minute break, and then 50 minutes and 10-minute break, we want to have a clean cut. That's one of the reasons why I use the little digital alarm clock, little digital timer, so that at the end of 50 minutes it comes on and it beeps and I say, okay, time for a clean cut. I wrap what I'm doing and I cut, and I go over and I do some stretching, I do a little bit of exercise, I drink some water, I take some breaths. Maybe I pick up a magazine that was interesting and had an article in it, something to just cut completely from what I was doing over there. I really want to cut and stop doing what I was doing. It's important to do this and learn to discipline yourself to take your mind from one thing to the next thing and stop doing that thing. So that's the second of these three ideas. And then change channels. Change channels. That's the third idea here. And all three of these work together. They're a little combination that really work synergistically to make each other very powerful and to improve your power of focus. And changing channels is about switching from using the physical, the emotional, or the logical and trying to switch completely to another channel. So let's say that I'm trying to solve a very complex puzzle with my mind in a work situation. And let's say, just as an example, I'm sitting down and I'm writing some copy and I'm working on a sales letter for a product that I'm releasing. And I'm trying to figure out the right order to communicate all my ideas in so that they're the easiest to understand. And I've been working trying to fit these together, and it's been a strenuous mental exercise, and I've been working for a 50-minute session on that. My timer goes off, it goes beep beep, and I say, okay, cut, I want to change channels. So for that next 10 minutes, I want to be doing something physically or I want to be doing something emotionally. I tend to go to the physical, where I go do some stretching or some yoga, or maybe even pick up my weights and just kind of get into my body a little bit, maybe even lay down on the floor and kind of relax my body, that kind of thing, because I tend to work standing up. Another thing I could do is call up one of my friends who's funny, who I enjoy talking to, and just have an emotional connection with another person, relate to another person, and totally change channels, just get into another zone completely, just for a short period of time. So hopefully you can see now how by having clean focus, by having clean cuts, and then by changing channels, that you could really improve the quality of each of the moments of your day and the quality of the work that you're producing and the results that you're producing as well. So use these three ideas: clean focus, clean cuts, and change channels.